Welcome to the Wise Men Say podcast, where Sunderland have won 5-0 at home to Southampton, with goals from Jack Clark, 2 from Pierre Ekwa, an opening goal for Bradley Dack, and Sunderland's youngest ever goal scorer, Chris Rigg, with a fifth the afternoon. We're very giddy. We're all in the Harbour View, so I'm joined by Eleanor. Hello, Eleanor.
Hello, Richard. A lot better than we were on whatever day we recorded, Thursday.
Yeah.
A lot more happy.
Completely mood and gear change. I'm also joined by the legendary James Reay. Hello, James.
Hello.
And finally, last but not least, we've got Mickey Lough. Hello, Mick.
That's a very underwhelming prefix for my name, like.
Yeah, last but not least.
I mean, I'm already kind of depressed enough that Chris Rigg's already achieved more in life than I ever will. But, but
he has, to be fair. That goes for all of us, to be fair.
Hey, I've still got time.
Well, yeah, it's when Rigg scored, I'm like, he's 5 weeks younger than my daughter. It's ridiculous.
I was going to uni when he was born. That's scary. Yeah. Not as scary as your one.
Was I the only one who, when he was celebrating with the lads, was on the verge of like having tears in my eye, like watching them all like pick him up and hug him? I was just like, it was so lovely. Like, it was genuinely really sweet.
I was buzzing off Bennett's double twirly.
That fifth goal.
He tried a third.
It was like,
and the ball in was.
It was honestly that fifth goal was like the Harlem Globetrotters. Just absolutely.
The fifth goal reminds me when you play FIFA online and you just got like the L2 held down.
They've not entered the game, but they've gone for the tee.
You've got the right joystick and you're just spinning it around going, woo. Where you managed to like get the end product in. Obviously, we're starting with the fifth goal.
From minute one, we were class. That capped off what was a performance that was. I mean, when was last time? I can't think of a time I've seen us dominate a team like we dominated them today. Like, and yeah, fair play. They were. I don't even want to say that they were. I mean, they weren't good, but that takes away from what we did. Like, they're a team full of ex-Premier League players. Like, they've got, as we've seen with the way they've been throwing the money around, they've got money, they've got players, they've got so much more than we have on every department. And what did we do? We just did a load of phases. I'm not going to take credit for this, but I did say this on the pod. We hit them on the break with a vulnerable on the break. We did it twice, first 10 minutes, 2-0 up, and from there,
we did all back Sunderland to win the day.
I'd left the
To
pod.
be fair, Lambo said we'd draw.
Oh, well, boo.
Like, yeah,
He's also not here though, so boo.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think it felt almost like the fog of the transfer window had lifted. It felt like there had been almost a like
cathartic.
I don't want to say like dark cloud, because don't get me wrong, I love the players who like unfortunately we have let go, but it felt like the team was just like, all right, we're here to stay. Let's fucking show them what we can do. And I think that one of the significant showings of that was the way Clark celebrated his goal. You were saying it, Jim, before, weren't you? Yeah. He put his everything into that.
He was giving it performative sort of extra basically because. Well, I mean, I can only think because he wanted to make it obvious that the story about him not being happy here was a load of bullshit, basically. And even if he did it again, and then when Ekwa scored, he was celebrating with him. And can we just also say Ekwa's bow celebration?
Oh, insane! But how long has he been preparing that one for? Has he been thinking Has he been like, right? When I celebrate, when I score, this is going to be my celebration? Because don't get me wrong, absolutely sensational. Like, absolutely loved it. Fantastic celebration and a fantastic second goal.
What I'll say on
I am very much someone who, when players are a bit out and everyone's shouting shoot,
You're like, no,
my immediate reaction is don't you fucking dare. And I think it was as I was saying don't you fucking, it just hit the back of the net and it was.
Were you the one shouting no when Max Power shot against
Yes, I was very much.
Well, like Ekwa, to be fair, sorry, I'm interrupting Mickey though. I just wanted to say Ekwa's been winding up for this for a while. He's had a few decent efforts from long range.
He's got his eye in now.
He's got a good left foot, and it's what he was, right?
I mean, I do agree. Like, I'm usually like that, like kind of don't shoot. But there is sometimes a value in just having a go, because I think sometimes we do get a little bit guilty, being a little bit too intricate around the edge of the area. And then, well, today, like the third goal, he caught the keeper completely by surprise. He wasn't expecting it. He probably should save it to the keeper, but he's just completely wrong-footed because he's not expecting it. And he gets the shot away like a bullet. And it's just like, such a good opportunity to score. And I tell you what, he gave the ball away cheaply a couple of times in the first half, but other than that, I thought he was exemplary, Ekwah. He was very much like, the Luton home game last season where he really came into his own. He was dribbling with the ball really well, bringing people into play. I thought he was absolutely sensational today.
He dominated him.
I mean, it's one of them games though, you could literally go through, I think, like all of the players today who played and just say, oh, excellent, there was not one like bad
absolutely,
today.
I think special mention for Abdullah Bar.
Oh, yeah.
Who was just really made that position his own.
Stretch of them, and then can I just say for the assist for Ekwah's goal, the time to think, look, because a lot of the criticism with him is that he doesn't know what he's doing and all this, and if he doesn't know what he's doing, he blatantly does, because the way he stopped, looked, thought, played the perfect ball. Like, you cannot ask for any more than that. And yeah, he might not be a natural winger, but he did a very good impression on the day.
Once he masters the offside, Laura will be cracking.
Well,
that's the one thing that lets him down. I thought he was great today, but still in the second half, a couple of times, like, how were you offside there?
Could have had 2-1 at once if he was offside.
One way he slipped in, and I thought, like, come on, that's basic.
You reminded me a little bit, this might sound strange, you reminded me today, like, like Duncan Watmore when he would stretch things when he was in his pump sort of thing. He was like Duncan Watmore with skill.
Yeah.
Like, because I think he's got more of a bit of an intricate ability to beat a man, Bar, but he was like, his running was really direct, and I think he caused them a lot of problems. I was just saying to Jimmy before we came on, what was quite strange about that performance, we've won 5-0. And I think my biggest takeaway was how excellent we were out of possession, because of the team, Southampton, they like to dominate the ball. We saw the Russell Martin style against Swansea last season. Fair enough, we had 10 men, but we couldn't live with it at times. Whereas today, like, we were so good out of possession. Like, our security behind the ball was really good, but we still pressed them well. And we turned the ball over really well on occasion, and we played them really well in the counter attack. I just think, like Tony Mowbray, I really like him anyway, but I think today, like, he was flawless. I mean, I think we've got to praise him, if not as much, if not more than the players, and I think today he got it so tactically spot on, it was unreal.
I think substitutes-wise, he didn't really have difficult decisions to make, but I think giving Hemir a good half hour in a game that was almost done, and he came so close to getting that goal, and he did. I think he did loads of stuff right today.
Even the hit wasn't bad. Yeah. It was a bit high, good saving the keeper.
Yeah. You give him more minutes, he's going to
let's be honest, he scores that like 9 times out of 10.
Like, bringing him and Bennett on as well, a really positive thing.
Bennett.
I mean, I was saying to, I think, all of you before we came on, it very much felt like when Alex Neil came here last season and absolutely annihilated us with Stoke. Like, that we felt like we were doing that to them today. We didn't shut up shop a bit, but we very much weren't letting them through. And I have to say, like, a word for my boy Patterson, second clean sheet of the season. It's not even like he didn't have to make some good saves, because he did. He was absolutely brilliant.
Tell you what,
but if they're
Dan Ballard, he was just so good. Sorry, I'll cut across you. It's just when he brought up like the defence there, just Ballard. Like, he was like a ball magnet. Like, every single time the ball came in, he was just there to clear it away. And I've never been. It's weird because you're falling up and you're buzzing, then Ballard goes down, you could put a damper on the afternoon, but fortunately he bottled through. I thought he was done, to be honest. But no, like, I think he was brilliant. I thought 09, great game, like, I gave him a bit of criticism after the last home game, but I thought he was really good today.
He was leading the team today. There were times even when he wasn't anywhere near the ball that he was telling people to get into position. He was really kind of firming up that back line.
He did at times, Seb Larson impressed, like, marching around, pointing at people, and he did it very well, pointing at the referee, like.
With so many younger players on the pitch, and let's face it, 09 at times has got some maybe tiny bit of criticism on this podcast, but today he was absolutely fantastic.
Well, what I'll say is on that, if you look at players who've left, leaders, Bart leader, Goose leader, 09's had to put his big boy pants on and actually step into. Oh, indirect answer, but he is. If he carries this on, and hopefully we'll see this continue, because that's 2 clean sheets in a row we've had defensively. Let's be honest, we saw that coming after the goals we conceded earlier on. And 09, and again, all my hands have said, wasn't convinced, but can't argue with it today. And he is a natural leader. Like, let's be honest, right? He's enthusiastic. He's not scared. He'll I don't know. He's not bothered. Like, he'll throw a foot in. He'll go down. He'll speak to the ref. He will happily take responsibility, and sometimes he does it too much. But if he can put his big boy pants on, second Alex Steelfoot, and do it,
it's a lot of pants he's wearing.
Then yeah.
Mind you, if they're going to come in for half our fucking team, why they haven't come in for Patson? Because their goalie had an absolutely terrible day.
I mean, it's Gavin Bazunu who was he was on loan at Pompey a few seasons ago. I think he came from City on loan, and he looked. I think he was like League One goalkeeper of the season. And he looked really impressive, and he went off to Well, I rated him, and I thought, well, we're going to have a hard day against him because he's a decent keeper. But all 5 goals, I would say the goalkeeper needs to be doing better. I mean, the first goal.
Not that they weren't great goals.
No, but the first goal was a header. I think it was down into the turf, and then like Riggs' goal was.
I think that's a little bit harsh.
I'm not saying that. Like, I think the keeper could have done better with all 5.
I think certainly. I'm at the other end of the 4th goal, but the reckon like with Bradley that goal he was really poor for. But I think that was good today. I think he's another one. I think he's a bit more like a quiet lead. He's a bit of an Alex Pritchard type, in that he was quite good at like controlling the press today.
You can see him talking.
What was lush with Dak as well is we've seen a couple of games where he's looked a step behind the pace, and it's because he hasn't played for so long. Whereas today, you're seeing the player that we've signed. You're seeing more how he can affect play.
When Bar was getting the receiving the ball, Dak, because I'm myself when you can see the ball was over. You can see Dak pointing. He's basically telling Bar what to do with the ball, and that's the kind of on-pitch leadership, like you say, quite a bit quietly. But Bar needed, and to be fair to Bar did what he was told and reap the benefits of it.
You know, the really impressive thing about the day was how we sustained that level over 90 minutes. Because it's very easy when you score too early to like really retreat. And to be fair, Southampton, they did have a spell where they had a lot of the ball, but I'd argue they never really threatened. There was never a spell where like, oh, we're going to concede here. We dealt with it really well, and then we came out second half, and yes, getting that third goal before half time was crucial, because I can't have been the only one that had flashbacks to Burnley last season.
Yeah, that was the first
that's the first thing I thought.
That was the first thing.
Yeah, and then so that third goal was crucial. But then even then you think, right, we'll come out second half and try and keep the title 6 minutes. Not a bit of it. We were on the front foot straight away and scored that 4th goal. And I just think that was so good, and it just is testament to Mowbray's management. I think the fact that he like gives the lads the confidence, like, right lad, just go out and do the same again. You don't have to try and like hold this 3-0, go again. Yeah. And it was like, as I say, the goal we scored in at the time, like the desire of Rick to get in the back post to win that header, we were just like so like across the like this, and the desire to keep a clean sheet as well. At 4-0, you can kind of phone it in a little bit, like, oh, if you get 1 or 2 back, it doesn't matter. But we were so focused on the clean sheet, we were so focused to keep on pressing, counter-attacking them. It was just, I'd argue, I can't remember a more complete performance where you put in over 90 minutes and actually sustain it for 90 minutes.
Certainly not in the Championship in recent years.
Because the thing is, and this might be a bit nuclear and oh my god, this is really like too negative, but this time yesterday, I think a lot of us were sat thinking, what the fuck have we got this season? Like, where the fuck are we going this season? And it's amazing how 24 hours can completely change that, because actually that match has changed my perspective on that. I think that we have got the players now. It's a young side, and how that fares over the space of a season is yet to be determined, but they looked good today.
What happened yesterday had very little effect, had 0 effect on the starting 11. Perhaps on the squad with Gooch and Embleton probably likely to have been on the bench, but it had such little effect that I didn't really want to be talking about transfers today, because it felt like there was a lot of noise yesterday, and as it fizzled out, I still think we've lost a lot of experience, but there's a lot of talent and hope, and there's a lot of kind of a youthful exuberance on the pitch.
You tweeted quite early on, I think yesterday, saying there's a lot of noise and not a lot of action going on, and let's just wait and see what actually happens. I think you'll be in the main food right there.
Basically, you're fantastic, Richard. You've done so well right now.
Like me included,
Richard's cooking.
A lot of us fell into the trap. Every time an update came, oh my god, is it happening? Is it not happening?
Absolutely.
And really, I mean, this is probably why you're such a good like journo man and all that.
You are fantastic.
Well, you know about that.
But you're right, because like really, if you look past like just because some guy said something, that's definitely going to happen. I think actually, let's wait until something actually happens.
I think as well.
You find there's a big gap between. Because like, there's a lot of people who want to be online and say this, that and the other for clout, and yes, some of it's right, some of it's wrong. The key is that if you actually just wait until things happen,
Look, I've always been a big proponent of like you've got to be like critical of the club when it's necessary, when it's fair. But equally, I think Twitter noise rarely translates into the stadium. You know, there's times where like you'll see stuff on Twitter, you're like, oh, it's going to be really toxic in there today. And yeah, fair enough, if we went 2-0 down early on, it might have done, and it helped when you get the 2 early goals, but they were right behind the players from the start of the day, the fans. And the fans rewarded them with a high tempo, high energy performance. I do think it's going to be.
The players didn't allow the fans to get flat at any point because they scored at the first minute.
So kept fucking going.
It was like, but my first goal, it was like everything that we've had like pent up for quite a while just kind of came out, and it was just a really good day. And as I say, we controlled it from start to finish against a team who will be up there. Like, I mean, it sounds strange when they got beat 5-0. I don't think Southampton were like horrendous. Like,
no,
they've got lots of technically good footballers, but I don't think they quite know what team they are yet. Like, you know what I mean?
It's good. The manager's a massive knobhead.
Yeah, it was noticeable that for all of the idealistic views that Russell Martin has, he completely abandoned that at half time, and he went 2 up top, went to a flat back 4, and it didn't work out because they changed it again. He made other changes, and he brought Adams on at half time. Didn't influence the game at all.
I think it'll be similar to last season in that we kind of do to an extent. I mean, yes, have expectations, of course, but we do need to take the rough with the smooth, I think, with this team and these like the young players. So, like, yes, we'll have days like this, but we'll equally have days where we struggle. We might have a game like we did against Stoke last season, but we've got to just kind of be a bit pragmatic about it and say, right, these are like really young players who are like kind of playing the first few seasons of senior football. And we've got to just kind of like get behind it. And one thing I will say about this team and this club over the past like 18 months to a year, we don't know when we're beaten. There's a real resilience. When we go through, like last season, we won 1 game in 9, and then we went on a run at the end of the season where we lost 1 in 10, I think, towards the end of the season. It's just, I think it's very much, we just need to pick up as many points as we can over the season and see where it takes us. I don't think it's necessarily helpful to say we must get promoted or we must get to the playoffs. I just think it's a case of, right, get as many points on the board as we can and see where it takes us.
Well, we're a month into the season now, ish, and take out the 2 defeats from the first 2 games.
Let's just get rid of them.
Yeah, let's just write them off.
I mean, let's be honest.
In our minds, that's now 3 unbeaten now.
We were very unlucky to lose both those games as well.
Yeah, and that did paint a very negative view of how the season obviously had started. But now, as Jimmy said, we've got 2 clean sheets on the bounce. We've got 2 wins in 3 games. That is some momentum now.
If you were coming out of this first 5 games we've played, isn't it? If you were coming out of this first 5 games with 7 points, you wouldn't be massively upset, would you?
No, I think it's a decent return.
And do you know what? After today, I'm like fully backing Mason Burstow when he says that we're going to go and win a trophy this season. I'm like, yes, fucking let's go. Let's go and just win the league. We've got all of this. We're brilliant. Everything is fantastic. Let's just go out and just fuck up any team that come at us.
Right.
Can I just say one last thing? We're going to end it now? We're going to end the pod now?
Yes, we're bringing it to an end.
Let's fuck up any team that comes at us.
No, and also we all really like Tony.
Yes.
We love Tony.
I adore Mowbray.
Yes, and I hope Russell Martin enjoys his long journey home.
Yeah.
We're back on Monday with a little bit more of a sober and balanced reaction to today's game and also to the transfer window. But until then, thanks very much for listening.
Enjoyed
Southampton.
I hope it makes you very happy. Dear Lord, what a sad little life.
Ross Stewart.
You ruined my night.